When the billionaire parents came to the orphanage to find me, Molly begged them to adopt her too. Later, when my parents gave me a black card, she'd say, "Carrie, I'm so jealous of you. You can buy whatever you want. Unlike me, I can't even eat as much as I want." When I was getting married, she'd say, "Carrie, you have everything. No man would ever turn you down." Meanwhile, I'm just an orphan with no parents. When I was praised as the most beautiful debutante, she'd half smile on her live stream. "Carrie spends hundreds of thousands a month on beauty treatments. And me? I have to use the cheapest stuff." Because of all this, my parents and fiancé all felt sorry for her, turning against me. Online, people bullied me just to give her justice. But she ended up getting me killed. Before I died, I even heard her crying, saying, "It's just that Carrie got blown up by gas. But I'm the one who got scared." When I opened my eyes again, I saw Molly leaving the orphanage with a face full of grievance. I laughed. This time around, I'm going to play her game. After coming back to life, Molly was already sitting in the car with my billionaire parents, all pitiful. I blinked, still processing everything, and then heard her sniffling, "Carrie, I'm so jealous of you. Turns out you're the daughter of the richest family, sitting in such fancy cars. Not like me with no parents." I laughed coldly. Living another life. If I still fall for her guilt trips, I'd be brainless. I snapped back. "So what, you yourself cursed your parents to death, and you brag about it? Your dad should have controlled himself, should have shot you on a wall instead." I continued sarcastically, "You're rushing to claim my parents, huh? Fine by me. My bad for mistaking you for a human. Should have known to put a dog collar on you sooner." Molly turned pale, too shocked to keep crying. My biological mom frowned beside me, displeased. "Carrie, who taught you to speak like that? You're a lady, don't talk like a thug." I smirked, not holding back even for my biological mom. "Sorry, yeah, was born with a mom but never taught by one. Molly here wants to be your daughter. Why not take her in? She's obedient, got a bit of looks, could land a good marriage." My billionaire parents' faces fell hearing that. My dad glanced at Molly. "No way. You're our real daughter." My mom agreed. "Yeah, Carrie, you're my real daughter. It's my fault, shouldn't have blamed you. We adopted Molly thinking you'd need company in a new home. She's an orphan anyway. But don't worry, you're our real daughter, it's different. Molly, don't feel distant. There's a difference between adopted kids and real daughters. But since we've taken you in, we'll treat you well too." I sneered at Molly, clenching her fists beside them. I had no goodwill left for any of them. My parents' intentions weren't clear to me in my past life. After dying and going through so much, I finally get it. Molly did beg to be adopted, but my rich parents had their own agenda. Even finding me out of nowhere had a purpose. But the past me was blind, yearning for that sudden familial warmth, which only became the weapon they used to hurt me. Molly was the direct cause of my death, and my biological parents were her accomplices. Not just them. The moment we got home, my parents eagerly showed me around, completely ignoring Molly. "Carrie, Mom has set up your bedroom. Didn't know what color you liked, so I went with pink. Take a look. If you don't like it, Mom can have it redone." As expected, just like last time, a gaudy shade of pink. Before, I was too scared to speak up, terrified of losing what I had. But now, I plopped myself on the couch and without glancing retorted, "I don't like pink, change it all." My mom was about to agree when Molly chimed in with her sad little voice, "Carrie, I'm so jealous. Yesterday you were in the orphanage with rags. Today you can just reject what you don't like. Unlike me, I have nothing." I laughed. "Molly, did you brain deadly boil your brain with 100-degree water? Are you pissed seeing someone healthy like me? If you have nothing, it's bad luck. Need me to push you back into the womb for a redo?" A flash of anger crossed Molly's face, but it vanished quickly. Her eyes dimmed, and tears came readily. "Carrie, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant, My mom shot me an annoyed look. "Carrie, Molly is our adopted child. How could you bully her like that? What if people think we're mistreating her?" She paused and mumbled, "Both from the same orphanage. Yet how different you two are." I chuckled, playing with my hands. If they only looked closely, they'd notice. Molly's hands were soft compared to my callous ones. Even if from the same orphanage, we were worlds apart. Molly and I weren't close back at the orphanage. She always had new clothes, and was the first to get anything. She spent a lot of time with the headmistress. I barely knew her. When my rich parents came to get me, she begged to be taken along. My parents asked me, and I hesitated but agreed. But she didn't just fail to be grateful. She actually ruined my life to steal everything from me. This life, when I came back, she was already in the family car. I don't know how she got adopted this time. But none of that matters. Since I'm back, I'm not making the same mistakes. My mom finally changed out that pile of ugly pink stuff. Carrie, it's getting late. Let me take you to your room to rest, my mom said. I nodded and followed her to my bedroom door. As soon as I opened the door, Molly's eyes couldn't hide her envy. Sure enough, the next moment Molly spoke up. Wow, Carrie, your room is so pretty. Unlike me, I never stayed in a room this nice. I smiled. Mom, she's basically asking where she's sleeping. Molly looked awkward and quickly explained. Auntie, that's not what I mean. It's just, I haven't felt family love for a long time seeing Carrie. Molly lowered her head and covered her eyes with her hand. My mom totally fell for it and immediately pulled Molly closer. Molly, don't be sad. You see, we didn't expect to bring home more than one person initially. My mom looked at me. Carrie, how about Molly stays in your room with you tonight? I shot a cold glance at Molly, who was nestled in my mom's arms. She was looking down but had a slight smirk. It's funny if she thinks I'd agree with everything my mom says. All right. Back at the orphanage, I was known for being obedient. I smiled slightly and lifted Molly's face to look at mine. Share my room? Not happening. Didn't she envy that ugly pink stuff? Set her up with those sheets and blankets on the floor. Molly looked at me in shock. Carrie, Molly at least came from the same orphanage as you. Why are you holding such a grudge? If you don't want to, just tell me. Why act like this? No manners at all. What did they even teach you in the orphanage? Your teachers even said you were the most obedient and well-behaved child there. I raised an eyebrow and shot back at my mom. Talking so nicely. Did you wipe your mouth after using the bathroom? Carrie, you. What about me? Just found out no one taught me? So what if I have no manners? Can you eat manners? No manners, but still your daughter, right? Shut up and don't talk to me. I'm a neat freak. I pushed Molly aside. Molly, you think everywhere is your mom's? Everyone's gotta put up with you? Orphans get a pass for what? Does it matter to me you have no family? I gotta pamper you? Even the celestial dog knows its master. How do you dare defy? It looks like you were calcium deficient as a kid, and love deficient growing up. My mom couldn't win the argument, and Molly was crying pitifully. I decided to ignore them, went into my room, and shut the door. The next day when I came out, I saw Molly leaving a bedroom. I glanced. She was in the smallest room, windowless. Looks like my sweet-talking mom wasn't fully taken with Molly. All talk, no action, I see. I chuckled softly and headed downstairs. Molly stood awkwardly at her door. The bright pink stuff almost blinded me. Looks like they really moved my old stuff to Molly's room. That must make her so upset. Seeing me glance at her room, Molly quickly approached me. Carrie, did you sleep well? I don't know if it's because of unfamiliarity. I had an uneasy sleep. Carrie, you're the only one I'm familiar with. Molly gave me hopeful eyes, making me laugh. Molly, what brand of plastic bag are you? Holding so much air. What? Should I rush to Mauname overnight and let Buddha make way for you? Serving you kindly? You're scared of unfamiliarity? Go back to the orphanage then. You're familiar with that. And there's the caring dean too. Molly lifted her head, eyes filled with fear. You know something? Seems like this time she didn't tell me that. I smiled and patted Molly's face. I don't want to scold you with those things. After all, you're a victim as well. I can save face for you, but don't push it. Or I might spill something while I'm mad. Molly trembled all over, her weak front completely dropped, fiercely glaring at me. Carrie. I slapped Molly across the face, leaving a red handprint. Don't yell at me. I was bitten by a dog as a kid. Who do you think you are? Just a dog picked for marriage purposes. Got skills? Win my parents' favor and change your fate. Go get others to love you, pull you out of the mud. Molly gave me an odd smile. Carrie, you said this yourself. Yeah, I'm giving you the chance. Molly muttered and pinched her arm a few times, then strutted downstairs. I laughed. Wouldn't want her too timid to fight back. Without her challenge, the game's no fun. I strolled down, following Molly into the dining room. My wealthy parents were already at the table having breakfast. Molly timidly called out Uncle, Auntie, yet they didn't even look up. I coughed, and they finally looked up. Carrie, you're up. I nodded and sat down. Actually, back when I first came home in my previous life, my parents acted all ingratiating like this. Seeing Molly pitiful, I'd occasionally tell my parents I valued Molly and hoped they'd be nice to her. That gave Molly the opportunity. But this time, without my help, can Molly succeed? I'm quite interested. I hadn't been sitting for long when the servant brought breakfast over. Molly just stood there awkwardly, sticking out like a sore thumb. My dad was the first to finish, wiped his mouth, then noticed Molly. He frowned and asked Molly, why don't you sit down and eat? Molly glanced at me nervously and shook her head. No thanks. I'm afraid I'll upset Carrie again. My mom looked at me, then at Molly. Oh dear Molly, why is your face so red? Molly's eyes welled up and tears fell. My mom gave me a look. Carrie, did you bully Molly again? I nodded. Sure, I took the credit. I slapped her. Molly blinked, maybe surprised I admitted it right away. My mom frowned. Why do you hit Molly? Aren't you guys friends? Mom always said Dad and I adopted Molly so you wouldn't be lonely. She won't steal our love from you. Yeah, right, like I cared. I admit hitting her was wrong. But Molly called me something mean. Wasn't that insulting you, Mom? I was just trying to stop her from spewing nonsense and polluting the air. So I covered her mouth. Mom was taken aback. Then her face turned cold. Molly clutched her dress, trembling. I'm sorry, Auntie, Uncle, I'm just so insecure. I envy Carrie so much. I wasn't trying to swear. I just wish I had a mom like hers. Mine died. Molly looked down, standing there pitifully. Too bad, they weren't falling for it anymore. Dad snorted and got up to leave. Mom followed suit right after. Molly was furious but didn't dare confront me. Just shot me a hateful look and stomped off. I chuckled, enjoying my breakfast. Soon they arranged for Molly and me to start school. We were about to head out when Molly started again. She looked at me enviously. Carrie, I'm so jealous of you. You have such pretty clothes and nice school supplies. I rolled my eyes. Molly, I'm not a target for your cheap shots. Did my family not buy you clothes or school stuff? Oh, I had a revelation. Do you think we should pay for it? We could. Mom, keep track of everything we get for Molly, so she can pay us back when she's older. Otherwise, she might feel bad. Molly turned pale, quickly denying, no, I didn't mean that. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, meaning you're freeloading? Why doesn't the government study your thick skin for bulletproof vests? You'd be the world's best defense. They could put your face up to ward off evil. Call them now. You. Mom looked annoyed. Carrie, Molly said she didn't mean that. That's hilarious. Just days in, and Mom sides with Molly again. I knew Molly had been hanging around Mom to get noticed. Didn't expect Mom to be that gullible. No matter, my reactions are swifter. Makes sense you're with Dad. Two fools to make a sane kid like me must have been hard. Do you even use your brain for anything other than making the world seem prettier by comparison? Carrie, how can you talk to your mom like that? I chuckled softly. Sorry, without a mom for years, I don't know how to talk to creatures that can't parent. You. I walked straight to the car, ignoring Mom's tantrum. I'm not worried about ticking her off. They need me for a marriage alliance. The people they're dealing with got power, not money. They want something else, like power. My bargain-hunting dad thought about marrying off someone else's daughter from the family line. But they demanded me. Since they wanted me, my family dug me out after 15 years. Though the orphanage wasn't far. Now they depend on me. Pity, I had to die once to get it. I pity my past foolish self. Dreaming of things never meant to be. On the ride, Molly and Mom were chatty like real mother and daughter. Suited me. I'm saving energy for later when the drama starts. Didn't take long to reach school, and the staff showered my mom with praise. The head took Molly and me to class. I found an empty seat. Then some dude acting all cool walked over. He angled his face at me. You must be Carrie. Hey, I'm David. Your fiancé apparently. I burst out laughing. Here he was like last time, posing. My so-called childhood betrothal. I stood and gave David a look. You've got oatmeal for brains? Striking poses like you're handsome. How much grease did you consume today? Your face is an oil rig, still playing CEO here, huh? You got issues? David's face turned beet red, confronting me. What's your problem? I flipped my hair, letting it smack him. Overall, you're acting like you're crazy. You. David pointed his stick-like finger at me, trembling, shouting for a while, and yet couldn't manage a single insult. I smirked and sat back down. Molly, standing by, sighed. Carrie, I really envy you. The moment you get home, your parents are happy with you, and they've even sorted out your future husband. Sigh, unlike me, I have no idea where I'm heading. I crossed my arms, looking at Molly with disdain. I keep telling you to shut it. Every time you speak, you sell out your low IQ. Stop living this fantasy life at my place, and just marry a can of oil. Live a life of riches. Oh, if you think your ugly face can't keep him, no worries. I'll be the kind elder sister and teach you a trick. Just walk straight to the bathroom, make a move on him, and get yourself a little oil can kid. Rise to the top of the world. Molly's face scrunched up, tears welling up like free rain. Carrie, how could you? You're just insulting me. You know that's not what I meant. She threw a sad look at David, who was standing to one side. David, don't mind her. Carrie's always been this reckless with her words. She was like this in the orphanage too, probably having a hard time adjusting to being daddy's girl. David, don't take it to heart. Give Carrie some space to grow. I know David's your fiancé, Carrie. I won't mess around. Don't see me as a threat. Look at her holier-than-thou stance. Am I supposed to be moved to tears? David moved a bit further away from me, leaning closer to Molly. Her fragile act seemed to please David. He turned his face to me, frowning. Carrie, I didn't expect you to bully the weak like this. I really misjudged you. Apologize to this classmate now. I smiled. Someone's here for a scolding. What a treat. David, are you alright? Or have you eaten so many plums your brains turned to mush? Why the act every day? Bullying the weak. You two gang up on me. And who's bullying who, really? I glanced at Molly hiding behind him. Oh, Molly, can you not overestimate yourself? You have a pig's brain. How could I possibly know what you're thinking? Molly pouted. Carrie, how could you say that about me? At least I. Stop. Don't talk to me. Because I don't understand. To others, it looks stupid to argue with a pig. David shielded Molly, glaring at me. Carrie, just wait. I'm canceling our engagement tonight. Marrying someone so crude is embarrassing. I laughed till I almost cried. Great, go right ahead. Switch to Molly, right? A glimmer of joy crossed Molly's face. David frowned, about to speak, when the teacher walked in. David, what are you doing there? Class is starting. Get back to your seat. David quickly let go of Molly, coughed, and tried to coolly tilt his head and give a charming smile before heading to his seat. Molly wordlessly followed him. I couldn't resist a silent gag. Even in my past life, I couldn't stand David's oily persona, and yet my parents insisted I maintain a good relationship with him, since I was supposed to marry him. My mom even threatened, if you don't behave, we'll stop loving you and send you back to the orphanage. Pathetic me. I swallowed my pride for the illusion of family affection. Who would have known? David was already entangled with Molly. The teacher glanced around the classroom, adjusting his glasses. Ahem. Today we have 2 new students joining us. Let's give them a round of applause and have them introduce themselves. I shifted my seat intentionally. Molly quickly got up and rushed to the podium. Feigning magnanimity, she sweetly smiled. Hello everyone, my family is the richest. You can call me Molly. The class erupted immediately. Wow, is she the long-lost daughter that was just found? Wasn't she found in an orphanage? How's she not looking like that? Good food in orphanages these days? Aren't you silly? Must have bulked up after going home. I smiled knowingly to myself. In the previous life, Molly introduced herself like this, making everyone think she was the real deal. David, aware of the truth, stayed silent. Molly even inadvertently brought up the surname matter in front of me. Carrie, sorry. I didn't know classmates would assume things about my identity. But since I'm adopted, carrying the Tang surname isn't a good fit, right? She pushed me to bring it up with my parents, so she could change to my family name. Later, she got me cyberbullied. Everyone online calling me the most vicious heiress. My parents abandoned me, kicking me back to the orphanage. Yet Molly wouldn't stop. She led people away, locked me in the villa, opened the gas valve, and set a fire. It blew me up alive. My one moment of softness pushed me into the abyss. Since I've been given a second chance at life, this time, I won't spare anyone. I smiled softly, stood up and walked to the podium. Excuse me, everyone. Molly and I came from the same orphanage. She's not quite stable mentally. After we adopted her back, she seems to have some memory confusion. Oh, and I grinned brightly. My name is Carrie and she's Molly. The class erupted again. What? She just said she's a rich girl, but she's adopted? Well, no wonder her intro felt weird. Seriously, shouldn't the point be her mental issues? Why even allow someone like that in our school? Sigh, it's probably to save face for the parents, huh? I think Molly's not just got a screw loose. She's looking to climb the ladder. The mocking voices kept coming, and Molly's face went pale. Her hands gripped onto her clothes tightly. Enough. Not far away, David stood up suddenly and slapped the table. Carrie, why are you bullying Molly like this? Why make her so embarrassed? You're a girl. How can you be so nasty? I raised an eyebrow and walked straight over to David's desk. I picked up the book on his desk and smacked it in his face. David, would you die if you didn't act like this for a day? You're always shoving your side profile in my face. What's up with that? Did you fall in a stinky ditch as a kid? And now your face is uneven or what? How am I bullying anyone? Everyone saw, right? I was just stating facts. Molly's the one with the messed up head, crying like a non-stop waterworks. How is that anyone else's problem? David, if you're trying to be the hero, maybe take a look at yourself first. You look like an idiot from any angle. Like seriously, top down you look like a pig, from below like a donkey, and your face is shaped like a TV. Point is, looking at you is like looking at a TV plug. Women see you and hurl. Men see you and can't even carry you. I turned away with indifference and looked at the teacher standing on the platform, looking confused. Teacher, are we done with the introductions? Can we start class now? After asking, I glanced at David, whose face was red with anger, and went back to my seat. As for Molly, she intended to put on a show on the platform, but was sent back to her seat by the teacher. Over dinner, my rich parents were overly doting. Carrie, how was school today? Getting along with your classmates? Have you met a boy named David? I snorted. Yes, I know him. My fiancé, right? He wants to cancel our engagement. Wants to tie the knot with Molly instead. My dad's expression changed, and he angrily tossed his chopsticks toward Molly. Nonsense. Molly, did you do something? Let me tell you, some things aren't for you to even think about. You're just an adopted daughter. Don't be ungrateful. My mom quickly calmed him down. Why say such harsh things? You don't even know what happened. Humph. Do I need to ask? Why else would her name come up out of nowhere? Who knows what kind of witchcraft Molly used on my mom to make her so biased? I raised an eyebrow, looking at Molly's pale face, waiting for her next move. Uncle, I didn't. Molly hesitated, cautiously looking at me, and then pretended to avoid eye contact as if scared. David just said he wants to cancel the engagement with Carrie, because she's, well, rough around the edges. My dad frowned. Carrie, what's going on? Do you know how important this alliance with his family is? His family may not be as well off as ours, but they're into politics. They could really help our family. I looked at my dad, feigning innocence. I don't understand. You found me, and said you've been searching for me for years. Was that only to arrange a marriage? My parents fell silent, knowing I struck a nerve. I chuckled. Besides, I didn't do anything. When Molly was introducing herself, claiming to be part of our family, I just clarified her status. You know, so there's no misunderstanding about who the real heiress is. With those words, Dad slammed the table in anger. Even Mom's face changed with anger. I quietly finished my soup and headed back to my room, ignoring the voices of my parents and Molly behind me. In my past life, they scolded me the same way. I've heard it all before. Now it's Molly's turn. Not long after, Molly barged into my room fuming. Oh, a rare guest. Molly scanned the room, unable to hide her jealousy. My room is after all 3 times the size of hers. She slammed the door shut and turned to confront me. Carrie, what are you up to? You said you'd give me time. You have so much already. Why not let me have a little love? I snorted. Didn't I give you a chance? Or time? Mom's already siding with you, isn't she? You're the one who failed. You couldn't even suck up properly. I eyed her up and down and patted her cheek. Maybe go back to your old ways. I bet David will fall for it. When you do get a good match, you'll owe me big time. Molly swatted my hand away in disgust. I don't need you to tell me what to do. Carrie, just you wait. I'll make sure you beg on your knees. She spun around, stormed out, and tripped, screaming as she hit the ground. My parents came running. What's happening now? Molly lay on the floor, her eyes welling up with tears, pitifully looking at my parents. Uncle, Aunt, don't blame Carrie. I came to apologize, and she was upset and pushed me. It's my fault. I lost my balance. My mom's heart softened again, moving to help Molly up. She even scolded me, Carrie, why push when she came to apologize? Where's your manners? I rolled my eyes. If you believe Molly so much, I wonder, is she your secret daughter? My dad shot a strange look at my mom, who instantly flared up. What's with that look? I'm telling you, it's not true. Don't think I don't know about your little affairs outside. And you're one to talk? Sort out your side chicks first. The two of them started arguing right away. I almost couldn't help but laugh. There's a saying that two different people can't share the same bed. Neither of them were any good. Seeing their argument heat up, Molly's acting wasn't cutting it, and she seemed anxious. She let out a loud gasp to pull their attention back. I smirked and pointed at Molly on the floor, saying honestly, I didn't push her. But Molly wasn't here to apologize. She was here to ask me to give David up to her. My parents' expressions changed instantly when they heard me say this, and they immediately took out their anger on Molly. My dad kicked Molly in the stomach and said, "What did I tell you? Can't you remember? Who do you think you are?" He said, "I adopted you to give our family more options for an alliance." "Who said you could have designs on David?" Molly cried, shielding her face, and kept explaining, "Uncle, no, it's not like that, I didn't." But no one listened to her. Since then, Molly behaved for a while, but it was just for show. At school, she would flirt with David, and she even moved to sit next to him in class. But what she didn't realize was that no matter how much she tried to please David, it was pointless. The marriage between our families was arranged by our grandfathers and couldn't be changed. They even specified that the marriage had to be with me. Otherwise, in a past life, David wouldn't have been engaged to me while keeping Molly on the side. This time around, just like before, David kept trying to get my attention, but I'd shut him down every time. He always came back, though, full of sleazy charm. When I got home that day, my dad handed me a black card. "Carrie, there's a party in a couple of days to announce the engagement. Here's a card, spend as you like. There'll be many important people there, so don't embarrass the family." I glanced down at the black card and smiled quietly. As soon as my dad left, Molly sighed beside me. "Carrie, I'm so jealous. You get to buy whatever you want. Unlike me, I don't even dare to eat more." I coldly tucked the card away and looked at Molly, who'd been acting a bit more subdued lately. But really, wasn't this the perfect chance to stir things up a bit? "You're afraid to eat more, worried you'll show what a pig you are, right?" I continued teasing. "And why don't you run to your dear boyfriend and beg him to buy you a pretty dress instead?" Molly fumed, stamped her foot, glared at me, then rushed back to her room, probably to cry to David again. David reached out to me out of the blue. "Carrie, you know about the party your family's throwing, right? Let's go shopping. You can get anything you want." I laughed. If someone's offering, why not? Plus, I might catch something interesting. I agreed eagerly. At the mall, I spotted Molly there with David. They were practically glued together. I pretended to be upset. "David, why is she here?" David grinned sideways at me, showing off his jawline. "Carrie, isn't Molly your sister? We just bumped into each other. You should be more mature." Molly wrapped her arm around David's and looked at me challengingly. "Yeah, be mature, sis." I pinched my thigh hard to keep from laughing out loud. All right. Molly exaggeratedly swung her hips, clinging on to David as they shopped around. I acted all resentful, trailing after them. They led me into a women's clothing store. I picked a few pieces and headed into the fitting room. 2 minutes later, I sneakily peeked out from the curtain to find them all cozy together. Molly sat on David's lap, pushing against his chest, playing coy. "No, don't," she giggled. "What if Carrie comes out and catches us?" David smirked, his hands wandering. "Scared now? Didn't seem like it when you were wiggling around before." That's not true, she replied. I chuckled quietly and slipped away without them seeing. At the party, my parents were constantly introducing me to people, while Molly occasionally popped over. My parents weren't thrilled about that, but held their tongues for the sake of appearances. But really, I wondered how much longer they'd keep quiet. Just as the party hit its peak, and as my dad was announcing the engagement, I stepped forward. Hold on. I signaled for the staff to play a video I'd prepared. It showed Molly provoking me and flirting with her adopted sister's fiancé. Molly went pale, staring at me in disbelief. Didn't expect this, did you? With that pig brain of yours? I grinned. I put a micro camera on my clothes that day. I looked around at the flashing cameras and the buzz of people talking, feeling quite pleased. David's family was the quickest to respond, scrambling to get the video taken down, claiming it was fake. Politicians and dignitaries were leaving in a huff, angry and offended. My parents were too busy apologizing to even notice me. I held up my phone and pointed it at Molly. Hey family, check it out. This is the star of the video. Let's congratulate her. She finally got her wish to replace the real heiress and marry David. Molly's face turned pale with fear, and she lunged for my phone. Carrie, what the heck are you doing? I happily dodged her attempt. See, I told you to read more books. You look so clueless. Obviously, I'm live streaming. She was furious. You. Turn it off right now. I blinked at her. Girl, what are you barking about? I snickered, seeing the flood of insults directed at Molly in the live stream chat, and then turned it off, satisfied. What did all of this even mean? It was just returning what Molly gave me in a past life. After the party, my parents confronted me, asking why I had to expose everything in front of so many people. Why make them lose face? I laughed. You both should spend less time lecturing me, and more time dragging Molly, to work out the marriage agreement. Since his family defaulted first, you might get more perks. You only adopted me from the orphanage to make a marriage alliance, right? I pierced through their paper-thin intentions, and they stammered, finally giving in to my suggestion. The next day they took Molly to David's house. But they stubbornly insisted that it was Molly who seduced David. David must have lost his mind, constantly called me, and when I finally picked up, his greasy voice came through with frantic explanations. Carrie, I was wrong, I messed up big time. Molly was just a fling, an adopted daughter can't compare to you, the real deal. Well, isn't that hilarious, thinking I'm some gullible fool? I sincerely suggested, David, how about you go find a range hood and have it suck you right up? You're just too greasy and full of yourself. Lock yourself up in the hood. On the other end, David suddenly chuckled. Carrie, I know you're just jealous. Trust me, you're the only one I care about. Molly's just a plaything. Me? What is wrong with this guy? I disgustedly hung up and washed my hands multiple times before feeling clean again. A few days later, I invited David over to our house. I recorded that phone call. 5 minutes before David showed up, I sent the recording to Molly. So as soon as David stepped into the house, Molly charged at him, cussing him out. I quickly went live again, and even bought a trending spot. David, did you really call me a plaything? You weren't saying that in bed. David scoffed at Molly. Like I said, that was in bed. You're just an adopted daughter, bringing no real benefit to my family. What do I need you for? Just wait till I secure Carrie. You'll still be my favorite little mistress. Me in the livestream chat. Gross. By the time Molly realized, she was already being kicked out. Her reputation was ruined, and nobody wanted anything to do with her. My parents, seeing no more value in her, promptly threw her out too, but they forgot to unenroll her from school. Molly shamelessly kept attending, playing the victim, and hinting that I was to blame. But people aren't stupid. Her scandal with David was all over the place. David got transferred to another school entirely by his family. Without anyone to help her, Molly pulled her old trick again. She started live streaming, crying a river. Initially, her live streams only had about 10 viewers. So I bought her another trending spot and hired a batch of internet trolls to mindlessly support her. Molly bought it and acted even sadder. She cried and screamed in live streams day in and day out. Things escalated. Some random people actually started believing her. With the trolls I hired, our family was vilified all over the internet. My parents were furious, cursing Molly as an ingrate. Right after they came to me, "Carrie, what do we do now?" Was there something from Molly's time at the orphanage that could be used against her? I raised an eyebrow. "Help you? What's in it for me?" My dad frowned. "What do you mean? What's in it for you? We're family, aren't we? United we stand strong." I grinned. "Doesn't make sense to me. Even blood brothers settle their accounts clearly. So what do you want?" "Simple, cancel the engagement." "You." I shrugged. "It's a losing deal. Keep going with this marriage thing, and our family's reputation's just gonna sink further." My dad thought for a moment, then finally nodded. I snapped my fingers with a smile. "All right then. Once I'm done with the college entrance exam, I'll handle it." In my past life, I didn't do too badly in the college entrance exam. But this time, with 2 lifetimes worth of memories and tons of studying, I totally nailed it and became the top student in the province. My dad quickly spread the news online, salvaging a bit of our reputation. Molly kept wailing and cussing in her live streams, bad-mouthing me, my family, and David over and over. Apparently, she didn't even take the college entrance exam. Word is, she stayed up too late live streaming the night before, sleeping right through it. Makes sense, considering she got addicted to the benefits of live streaming. Molly even started selling stuff on her streams, hoping to break into the influencer scene. Too bad she never got the chance. I gathered all the evidence and released it online piece by piece. With a little bit of money, I skyrocketed it to the top of the trending list. At first, Molly refused to admit anything, claiming it was all photoshopped. But I kept dropping new material, overwhelming evidence, and Molly was sunk. When she went live, she was drowned in waves of insults. The internet was flooded with hate for her. She even had all her personal info dug up and exposed. The situation completely flipped. My dad was so happy, he just gave me a house. And of course I gladly accepted it. To make money, Molly got into some shady business. I posted about all that online, and she ended up with a career of online infamy. She finally broke and called me. "Carrie, I messed up. Boo-hoo, can you please give me a chance? Forgive me? I'm coming to cook for you tomorrow." Even though she was acting weak, I could sense her resentment. "And cooking? Really?" I smirked. "All right, come over tomorrow at 3 p.m. Molly's tone on the other end was noticeably more excited. Okay, I'll be there on time." After hanging up, I immediately contacted David. I wouldn't miss an opportunity like this. I convinced my parents to stay in the house. Soon enough, David got to the house too. With 10 minutes until 3 p.m., I faked feeling unwell, went to my room and jumped out from the second-floor window. Once Molly was inside, I locked the front door from outside. 2 hours later, I slowly returned home. There were fire trucks and police cars everywhere. I pretended to be in a hurry, running over to a cop, anxiously asking him, "Officer, what happened to my house?" The cop looked at me puzzled. "Are you from this house?" "Yeah, I'm the daughter, Carrie." The officer sighed and patted my shoulder to comfort me. "There was a gas explosion in your house. Everyone inside didn't make it. Miss, you're lucky you weren't here." I lowered my head, pretending to cry, and followed the officer to give my statement. Lucky. Indeed lucky. When Molly called me, I guessed what she was planning. So I called David over under the guise of discussing an engagement. Just like before. She went with a gas explosion, trying to take us all out. But what she didn't expect was this. The door was locked, she couldn't get out. And I wasn't home. I survived. Sure, overnight I became an orphan who lost both parents. But I was an orphan who inherited billions. All those annoying people were gone. And I could finally hit the reset button on my life. The end.